Good evening, Lisa.
Good evening, Andrew.
Good evening, Lisa.
Good evening, Andrew.
I'll stop now.
Yes.
Because it will get silly.
It will.
Hello, everyone.
You.
Hello. Season 14.
Yes.
Halfway point.
Mm-hmm.
So, the deadly assassin. And as people say, as opposed to any other sort of assassin,
Yeah, the slightly bumbly assassin.
the assassin that doesn't quite
No.
kill people.
Yes.
This is October, November 1976,
Mm-hmm.
and Face of Evil
Mm.
is January 77.
All right.
But I don't remember there being.
A
I don't
gap.
remember a gap between
Okay.
the stories.
Mm.
It's like you've got 3 stories, a gap, and another 3 stories. So,
Okay.
so,
So
it
it's
is
a bit like
it's
the split season.
It is a bit of a split season.
So like
this.
Moffat's,
Yeah.
like Matt Smith's
Yeah. Matt's
third season.
Third season is
Yeah.
sort
I had
of.
to think about which season it was then.
Or his second season it was split, wasn't it?
No, his third season was split, wasn't it?
Uh,
His last season was split.
Yeah, but it's his first season one as well, because you had the cliffhanger at the end of Good Man Goes to War.
Oh, and his second season.
Yeah,
All right,
yeah,
both
yeah,
were split then.
yeah,
Yeah.
Anyway, I love The Deadly Assassin.
Yes.
You're not quite so keen.
I'm not quite so keen. I like it more now than I did when I initially saw it for the
Yeah.
first time.
Okay.
I love all the stuff on the on Gallifrey, all the
Hmm.
Castellan Spandrel stuff and Coordinator Engin.
Yeah.
I don't know. There's just something about episode 3 that doesn't gel with me
All right. Okay.
for some reason.
All right. Fine. Well,
But I like it more than I used to.
okay. That's good. Well, to me, it's again another just very, very strong story from
Yeah.
this season, and yeah, episode 3 was like nothing I'd seen
Mm-hmm.
on Doctor Who.
Yeah.
Well, because of course it starts at the end of part 2.
Yes.
Because you've got the Doctor with his foot in the train tracks.
Yes.
And they're tiny little trains, but they still look like they do you some damage.
They probably would do some damage if they're going at more, lick.
And when was the last time you went in Poole Park, Lisa?
Poole Park. I know what you're going to say, and then the train's not actually running.
I know at the moment it's not running, but
Yes.
in our park we've
No,
got
I don't think I've ever been there when
we've
the
got a
train's
little
going.
little train that you can go on and go around the lake and
Yes.
stuff. And
Yes, but it's currently out of operation for.
I used to enjoy going on that
Okay.
train. Yeah.
For
Well, when I was
reasons known only to the
when I was
council.
small.
Yeah.
But yeah, again, it's that thing. It's something recognisable in your own life.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
But yeah, the whole imagery of the horse with the gas mask on is great. The clown in the mirror that's under the sand
Mm-hmm.
is great. And Bernard Horsfall's just given so much
Yeah.
to do,
Yeah.
isn't it?
I understand that. I mean, I should probably watch it again because when it was on yesterday,
Yeah.
I saw bits of it, but I didn't see that episode.
Now I don't know when I originally saw it whether I'd heard of the Master.
Mm-hmm.
Because this is late 76.
Yes.
And I had no memory of Delgado
No.
stories being on. So I don't know whether it was a big thing for me or not that it was the Master. I don't think it was.
Yeah.
I remember seeing the repeat
Mm.
because I remember jumping out of my skin when, I think it's part 4, the Master goes up to the glass case and smashes the glass in it to get the Rassilon's rod or whatever it is out. And it was framed almost like the Master had broken the glass in your telly.
All right. Okay.
So that really made me jump. And I definitely remember jumping on the repeat transmission, which is weird.
Okay. Yeah.
Maybe I knew it was coming, or maybe it was
You were
just
anticipating.
the atmosphere of the story generally. I mean, yes, at the time it had complaints because there's that classic line review, "What has happened to the magic of Doctor Who?" in capital letters, because fandom was in its sort of early days at this point, and the portrayal of the Time Lords did not agree with what you'd had in the War Games and the few appearances they make in Pertwee stories. But then Bob Holmes hated the Time Lords as sort of all-powerful figures.
Yeah.
He felt that was like Star Trek nonsense, that you get some powerful figure come in at the end and the
Sort you all
story
out.
would end for no very good reason. and I can sort of understand where he's coming from.
Mm.
Because how do you write a planet full of godlike people?
Yeah, it'd be a bit boring.
It's all right
wouldn't
for that, to have them in sort of little appearances, but to do a whole 4-part story
Yes.
on a planet of super beings
Yeah.
is very hard to write.
Yes.
And that's not what Bob wants to write at all.
No.
There is the tale about the Panopticon, because that was a prison. The name Panopticon comes from a prison designed by Jeremy Bentham, the philosopher.
Oh, right. Yeah. Yeah.
And the idea was that you could sit at the centre and see all the prisoners, or all the cells or something.
Mm.
And of course, Bob had met with Jeremy Bentham of the Doctor Who Appreciation Society, and it's never quite clear, but our Jeremy Bentham is a descendant of the original
Yes.
Jeremy Bentham.
Yes.
And it is interesting, did Bob call it that just as an in-joke for Jeremy Bentham, so he would spit his tea out when he watched it? I really don't know. But yeah, you get the 12 regeneration limit just out of nowhere.
Yeah. Yeah.
With the series is halfway through its 14th season, and suddenly that comes out of
It's
nowhere.
just an arbitrary line as well. Yeah.
And it's to make that story more important,
Yes.
because the master is desperate. It's that thing about, how do I make this story as interesting as possible? Well, I have to have a reason for the master to be wanting to do this.
Yeah.
So if I say he's on his last regeneration, and Bob doesn't care what that means in the future,
No, he's just writing for now.
despite the Brain of Morbius stuff a few stories ago, it's possible he's implying Tom Baker is the penultimate Doctor. He's the 12th Doctor, and the next Doctor will be the last one. But Bob couldn't care less.
No.
If you were to ask him about that, he'd laugh his head off. Why are you taking it so seriously?
Yeah.
He's not interested in joining the dots. He's interested in making what they're making that month to be as good as it
can be.
It can be.
Yeah.
And yes, I can understand that. Come Caves of Androzani. Bob's not thinking about that.
No.
Of course he's not. He's got better things to do.
Yes.
But yeah, great solid story, and I just love the imagery in part 3. So yeah,
I hold my hands up. It's not my kind of thing.
And again, the idea that the Master's got a grandfather clock as a TARDIS is great, especially as a grandfather clock used to turn up in Vision On. That's what the Burbles used to live in.
Oh yeah.
The door of the grandfather clock would fly open. You get these speech bubbles of these two invisible things talking to each other. So yeah, the idea that the Master had disguised his TARDIS as the grandfather clock from Vision On was great. Anyway, so a month and a bit later, the second half of the season starts up with The Face of Evil. Hold on, there's an effect. There you go, getting the reflection. So do you like The Face of Evil more than The Deadly Assassin then?
I don't know really. I've never really thought about it. I like The Face of Evil. I like the imagery in it.
It's got a very strong science fiction concept.
Yes.
Because you've got Chris Boucher suddenly coming on board, and I get the feeling Chris Boucher had read some sci-fi, which you don't always get from previous writers, I think. So yeah, I think he's interested in story concepts, and there is a good concept at the core of this. It's not just monsters and things like that. There is a plausible explanation for it. But let's talk about Leela first, shall we?
Yes.
So, as a lady woman,
what
do you think of Leela's character then?
I like her. I like Leela's character, and I know there's a lot of complaints from people. And Louise amongst Louise is the only one who is justified to complain because she had to wear the costume. About the costume, but in the context it's in, it makes sense. Because of what she is.
I mean, I know Philip Hinchcliffe said he wanted to have a stronger female companion for the girls to identify with.
But
So
to
do you
that-
think you would have identified with Leela or not?
Possibly. I don't know, because, you know,
You came to her later,
I
obviously.
came to her later and
Yeah.
I was older and I knew about her as a companion. I really don't know, because I do wonder whether the fact that she kills a lot of people in her first few stories sets her apart a little bit. Because
I mean,
Sarah is, you can see Sarah. Sarah is like your big sister,
yeah.
in a way, you know. Whereas Leela might, not, she wouldn't probably kill you,
Yeah.
but she might not be that nice
I
to you.
think there's more distance between Leela and a sort of, certainly for me as an audience watching it at the time. Yes, Sarah was very identifiable. Leela, I think, less so.
Yes.
Because I wouldn't be carrying a knife
No.
around, you know.
No.
So I think it swings and roundabouts, really. Yes, you've got the costume, but I have to be fairly honest, and I've never really. I guess because how old would I have been in 77? I would have been 8. So I just accepted that that's what Leela wore because she came from the planet.
Yeah.
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 It never crossed my mind. Well,
No.
it wouldn't at that age
No.
anyway.
No.
But,
You'd have to be a little bit, quite a lot
Yeah.
older.
But because I've got that memory,
Mm.
I've never really found it
No.
a problem from my point of view because that's Leela. It's like you've known someone all your life,
Yes.
isn't it? And you're just used to it.
Yeah.
It's very hard for me to come to it with a sort of new, with a fresh eye. That's the thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, just people coming to it now,
Yes.
they might well have a different opinion. But to me, that's how Leela was, and
Yes.
and Leela was my
Yeah.
friend.
And to be honest, it doesn't look that comfortable to wear.
no, it probably isn't. No.
It's cold. I just think, I mean, you know, obviously you take these things on, but it's just, it would make me uncomfortable, I think.
Okay.
And I mean, at this precise moment, the image of the Fendal
Yeah.
is on, and her costume in that has her a little bit more hushed up at the front.
Pushed up.
Because particularly when Tom falls on her at the beginning
Yeah.
of part 3,
Yeah.
you can see things.
What are you doing with it with your
I don't
hands?
know.
Dominator Argo's going to love that.
You can see things.
All right, okay.
Yeah. But I love her when she's dressed in other costumes. I mean,
Yeah.
I love her in the Horror of Fang Rock.
Yeah.
When she's just
She's got
dressed
the
in
jumper.
jeans and a jumper. She
Yeah.
looks great.
Yeah.
And it's practical and it's comfortable. It probably wasn't that comfortable because it was probably hot in the studio. But it's, you know, it looks comfortable.
Yeah.
And the Victorian dress is lovely. And she even looks good in that awful green thing in Image of the Fendal. Not Image of the Fendal, Invisible Enemy, sorry.
What the
the
PVC,
sort of
nurse's
PVC
costume.
nurse's costume
yeah,
thing.
yeah.
Yeah, so,
But yeah, I mean, we can talk about
yes,
those
we'll get to
later.
those.
But back to the Face of Evil.
Yes.
Yeah, the idea that it's like floating electronic
Tom Baker.
Tom Baker heads is very weird. And don't they leave footprints or something?
They do. I
like
don't
that?
quite know how they do that.
I suppose it'd be neck prints,
Neck
would it?
prints,
I
yeah.
really don't know.
Yeah, they've got little feet that they run around on. You
Okay.
can't see that. Their feet running
Okay.
around.
Well, they've only got one, so they must
Well,
hop
one
everywhere.
foot.
But yeah, it's, as I said, the whole idea of a degenerated sort of load of explorers. I don't know over what time scale this is supposed to have happened.
No.
And it's got to be very long
Yes.
for the whole split into two factions,
Yeah.
which have evolved their own
Own
societies.
customs and stuff. Yeah.
So you know, it's a story over a long period of time.
Yeah.
And it is a story of consequences as
Yeah.
well, because
Yeah.
it is the Doctor's actions.
Yes.
So in the same way that Eccleston's first season, you get the long game, and
Yeah.
then you get Bad Wolf
Yes.
as a consequence.
Of course, that's what happens.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
that's always quite interesting that the Doctor does something,
Yeah.
and it doesn't work out.
No.
And this is I think one of the first times this is well, apart from I suppose the Ark,
Yes.
where it's sort of very obvious, but this, because we've never seen the setup,
No.
it's a mystery for us as well. You
Yes.
know, so yeah, you suddenly realise, or you come to realise that the Doctor done it. You
Yes. And I when I was younger and I was first getting the videos and reading the books and looking at lists of Doctor Who episodes, and I saw this one, and I saw, you know, for a few seasons earlier, you've got the Planet of Evil, and I thought, oh, it must be like a sequel to it because it had evil at the end of it. That seemed logical.
Carry on. That
Yes.
was the sneeze. The sneeze of evil.
Sneeze of evil.
Oh, you
Yes.
reminded me. You've had the Hand of Fear,
Yeah.
and they have the Face of Evil.
Mm-hmm.
And I had a joke a year or two ago that there was a third Hinchcliffe body part story planned,
Right.
and my idea was the third story in this sort of trilogy would have been the Ghostly Leg,
Right.
because the Ghostly Leg was a
Cartoon,
comic strip.
Comic strip, yes.
Yes, where it was just this sort of disembodied leg with like sort of hairy knees and a big boot on the end. And I remember one, there was somebody on their bicycle, and it sort of helped pedal the bicycle or something.
Okay.
But yeah, I just like the idea of a ghostly leg in Doctor Who, sort of kicking Tom Baker up the arse or something. You know. Who done that? Who did that? Ah, it's the ghostly leg, Leela. Okay, there you go.
Right, okay. So yes, I thought it was a sequel and was really confused when I watched it, and it didn't appear to be a sequel at all.
Was it Nick said he used to think that Fury from the Deep was a Yeti story?
Yeah, I thought it was furry from the
Because it was
deep.
furry from the deep, that's right, yes. But yeah, I mean, a strong debut script for Chris
Leela.
Boucher,
Yeah,
well, for
and for
Leela
Leela.
and for Chris Boucher
Yeah.
as well.
Great cast. Leslie Schofield. We love Leslie Schofield.
Yes, of course, always.
And Brendan Price and David Garfield.
Yes.
Looking very odd with his cricket glove hat.
The Hand of Zuanon.
Yes. Yeah, it's a great cast. Somebody did point out on Twitter the other day, though, that there only appears to be Leela.
There is one other woman
Yeah.
in one shot.
She's busy then, isn't she?
Yeah, she's got a lot to do when Leela
Yeah.
leaves.
But it's
yeah.
not that. It's like, how do you populate
Yeah.
the tribe of the Sever team if there's only two women, and one
Yeah.
of those is not really old enough to you know.
Yeah. Okay.
So,
There you
but
go.
maybe there are just off-screen women.
Oh, they usually are.
Yes.
Okay, well, thank you, Lisa. Nearly called you Leela then. And we'll be back again soon.
Yes.
Bye-bye.
Bye.